The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
There's something that can be done as a possibility and it's going to benefit, we'll try to connect those dots. You know what you're capable of, you've run at that pace, and now you have to redirect. Welcome to Moments of Strength. I'm your host, Mary Kaufman. In this show, we celebrate the incredible resilience of mothers showing up through life's challenges, growing through every triumph, and carving out space for their own passions and identity. We're here to uplift and reassure every mom that you're not alone, and asking for help is a powerful strength. Each episode brings a story of motherhood's beautiful chaos. I'm happy you can join us for today's inspiring journey. And today's guest is Stephanie. Stephanie, thank you for coming.
Yes.
So happy you could make it.
Yes.
So this is so fun because we hadn't met before we connected just online through a post to have people come on here. And it's so fun to have you on because now a new person and a new story, and I'm happy you're here to share your story with everybody. And just as a reminder, this show has an aim to uplift other mothers and parents that may be watching, well, anyone that's watching, but your story of motherhood and your experiences. Hopefully people watching can pull from that some sense of strength or support or just community, maybe strategies or ways that you've dealt with things. So, okay.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So if you could just start out and tell us a little bit, about your childhood or how you grew up, and then we can kind of get into it from there.
Okay. I grew up on a farm in southeast Iowa. I actually lived in that area for 36 years of my life. So my dad was a farmer. My mom stayed home with us until we were in school, and then she worked during the day but was usually home when we got home from school. I have a younger brother and younger sister. I'm the oldest of three. We did have another sibling born with a heart defect, and she died 6 days after birth. I was young enough, I don't really remember it. So yeah, that was my childhood.
Yeah. So growing up on the farm, is this a dairy farm or?
We had cattle, but they were beef cattle. My dad raised them for meat.
Oh, gotcha.
And he also farmed in Iowa, it was corn and beans.
Yeah.
And then eventually he had his own semi-hauling business, so he would haul grain and livestock for farmers. So not the happiest part of my story. My dad was an alcoholic, which also led to a lot of shaping for me as a person.
Yeah.
Ultimately led to him losing his semi business because he was driving his semis while drinking.
Oh, yeah.
But so then he rented out his farmland to a farmer, and that farmer paid him to farm his farmland. So, yeah, when they got busy because he needed help, I'm like, that was a great news.
Oh, the new farmer paid your dad
paid
to
my
help
dad.
him.
Yeah, my dad farmed.
Yes.
He got a different job of a job, and then he rented his farmland out, but it got too busy, and that farmer would pay my dad on weekends to farm his land.
If you think about that, that's not a terrible situation,
right?
Because you're still on your own land. If you're talking about a bad situation and a way to sort of put a positive lens on it, did he enjoy doing that on the weekends?
He loved farming.
Yeah, see?
He was a farmer at heart. He loved it. Yeah, he just loved driving the tractor.
Yeah. Did you do work on the farm too?
I did some. My brother had to do most of it, like high pressure spray the trailers out after a load of hogs because hogs can spread diseases. And I did not have to do those things, but I rode in the semi with him a lot. I drove a tractor a lot when I was younger. Yeah. Because when you're in the middle of nowhere in Iowa and you're 12 years old, you drive tractors.
Yeah, and in Iowa you can have your permit or license at 14.
You get your permit at 14, and 15 you can get a school permit, and then 16 you get your driver's license. But everybody drives.
Everybody drives. You need you need that for what's going on.
Yeah,
you know,
we just
work-wise.
And I think there might be something with farm kids that can drive sooner. I don't farm equipment. I don't know.
Yeah. So that is important to talk about because that definitely shapes, you know, how you move through life, the things that you experience when you're young. And, you know, I talk sometimes on the show about how what happens to us when we're young, whether it's imposed on us or we choose it, often shows up in the way that we parent and certainly, you know, who we become as adults. So growing up on a farm produces something different than growing up in a city. You know, it doesn't mean you can't learn those things or switch it up and have new hobbies and learn new things, but it definitely shapes how you see the world as a young person.
It does,
So,
yes.
Yeah. Did you play sports or anything when you were in school?
I did. I went to a very small. I had 27 kids in my class, from kindergarten through 12th, like my whole 12, 13 years of school. I had the same 27 kids, and with only that many kids, you do everything. So I did sports. I played volleyball and basketball and track, and then eventually I replaced volleyball with cross country.
Oh, yeah.
And I also did music. I was in show choir and band and jazz band and chorus, and I did the plays because if somebody doesn't do it, then you don't have that program when you only have so many kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did it all, but I think cross country was by far my absolute favorite thing.
Do you still run now?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't I've had injuries that have sidelined me, but after 2 years, I'm healing from an injury, and I'm slowly getting back into it. It's like my escape. It's my therapy.
Yeah.
People think it's crazy, but it's how I clear my head. I love it.
Yeah. Well, if you're not a runner, it's wild to think somebody would just go out and do that. But I run occasionally too. I used to run more, but yeah, there's just something great about just you propelling yourself forward.
Yeah, I actually love half marathons because it's like a challenge, and I know it's crazy to pay money to go put yourself through that much pain, but like it's the runner's high when you cross that line and you're like, I did it, and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I did it with this group of people. I don't know any of them. They have similar aims. We're all in this together. It's an event.
There's
like
strangers cheering you on.
People are happy for you.
Yeah, it's really fun. So,
and it's an achievement, and you have to practice and work toward it. And
yeah, and it was good for my kids too, I think. I mean, they're older now, but I think it was good, like, hey, mom's going to do this thing, and I think that's good to show your kids that you can do hard things because they have to do hard things too.
Absolutely. Do hard things. Do anything for yourself.
Yeah.
That's a thing moms struggle with a lot, is finding time, energy, focus, permission to just do something that is just for them. And it's important to do that and have your kids watch you do that because you're valuing yourself. So you're demonstrating that you have value outside of, you know, just providing for kids. And they grow up and then they have their lives. Then what? Now you have to figure it out if you haven't found something during that parenting time. So yeah, so that's great. So congrats on getting back into it.
Thanks,
for your
slowly.
Injury. Okay, so went through high school and you did all the things because of the small school, which is great. Were you pretty open to that? I mean, were you happy to
Everybody
do those
did
things?
it, and I just did it too. So yeah, it was fine. I liked being busy all the time, I guess.
Yeah. And oldest of three?
Yes.
Did you enjoy that role?
I am very much the oldest child, yes. Like, you can totally see I am the oldest child. My brother's characteristics are middle child, and my sisters are youngest child. Like, we totally fit the roles.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, from the time I was 14, I started making dinner for my family every night, because at that time mom was working and I was home. Like, it just worked. And at 16, she started giving me money, and I'd go to the grocery store and buy our groceries. And I just fell into the role.
Yeah. It's kind of like third parent, supplemental parent.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was fine. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. And then after high school, where'd you go?
I went to college, about an hour and a half or 2 hours away. I went for accounting. I was going to be a accounting major. I liked college. I loved it where I was. But then I came home the next summer and worked at the place I was working. I met my now husband. And after a semester back at that college, I transferred back home to the college there to be closer to him.
Okay. Yeah. It happens.
It happens.
This is the path for
Yes.
many people.
Yes.
So that's great. And then, did you finish school there?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
And he graduated a year ahead of me,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got married right after I graduated college.
And stayed in that area?
We stayed in that area for,
Oh, that's right, because you said
I lived there for
36
36 years. We stayed there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with the same company, and eventually we just had this feeling that maybe there was something else out there that we wanted to explore, and through a lot of, it took us a while to get there, but finally we found, he found a position up here, because we knew we wanted to live up here. He's from Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin,
Okay.
and we loved the Madison area, and he found it, kind of did a career change and found a good position, and we moved us and our boys up here 9 years ago.
Nice. And it's been good
It's
for you
been great.
since
It was
then?
the best
Okay.
decision we ever made. So don't be afraid to try new things.
Yeah, that's great.
Like, I cried all the way up here, and I didn't know why, because I was excited and sad at the same time, which is an odd feeling, but I think it's very possible to be excited and sad at the same time.
Well, you're grieving what was and you're happy for what's to come, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. But it's weird simultaneously to kind of
It is.
experience that.
It is.
So when did the boys come into the picture? We should talk about this story.
Yes, since it's a mom's
Yeah.
thing. So when we got married, we didn't want kids. And eventually with
Can I
time,
ask how old you were when you were, it was right?
I
in
had just turned 22.
Okay, so young, yeah.
And my husband was 24, 25. We didn't want kids, but then after a few years, because we were young and we were just having fun, and we knew if you have kids, well, life's a little different. Like,
The fun is different.
it is a different fun. Let's read it. Let's watch Elmo. And then we started to change after a few years, and we thought, okay, let's start a family. But it wasn't as easy for us as we had thought. It took over 5 years to start our family, and in that time I had 6 miscarriages.
Oh my God.
Yeah, our oldest is our 7th child conceived, and with that pregnancy I started with triplets and lost 2 early on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a very dark time in my life, in our life, both of us. Yeah, and they had no medical explanation why it was happening.
My goodness. Do you mind talking about
Nope,
that?
I
'Cause
don't.
I think, there are women who have gone through this, so only, just share what you're comfortable with. But 6 miscarriages in 5 years is a high number. And were you far along? Were you in the
Yes,
beginning
some no. The
stages?
farthest I was 12 weeks. And no, I don't know, maybe this is too much information. Nope, my doctor just gave me some medication to help me pass the pregnancy and sent me home. And I didn't know that it was actually like going through labor. And
Oh my
all the,
gosh.
Yeah.
Sent you
nope.
home with the medicine?
He gave me the medicine and sent me home. It's like, you might feel some cramping. Okay, so I was just doing stuff, and all of a sudden I was curled up in a ball on the floor. And it was the emotional part of it, as well as it was, nobody prepared me for what that was actually going to be like. And at 12, it was not a happy time in our lives.
No.
And because they couldn't figure out what was going on, you just got to keep trying. And when we did get pregnant with who is now our oldest, we couldn't afford IVF or anything. And I mean, this was almost 19 years ago, so it was a little bit different landscape than it is now. It was our last chance. I was doing hormone injection shots.
So much.
And we couldn't afford to do. We could do 3 months, and after that we were done. But thankfully, that one worked.
Thankfully.
But it was like, some people love to be pregnant. It's a happy time. I was scared.
You were pretty anxious.
Yeah, the whole time I was just waiting for something bad to happen. It got to the point where I wasn't even excited at the positive pregnancy test, because I just assumed it wasn't going to last.
Yeah, because there was kind of a pattern, and it's hard to be hopeful after something, like that.
I tried, and then we were at the age where all of our friends were having kids, and it was like, oops, I'm pregnant, and so you're happy for them, And then you feel guilty because you're also a little bit jealous. So you have all these emotions, and then I felt like a bad person because I should be happy for them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, because I wanted that and I couldn't have it. No matter how hard I tried.
Yeah, I think the hardest to hear is like, someone's like, oh, they weren't even thinking about it. And it is a happy time for them, but if you're somebody who's struggling with that, it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, and
I think that's common. You're not a bad person.
But it makes you feel like a bad person at the time, because I wanted to be a good friend. And then you put a lot of guilt on yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not able to do this? And it was nothing I was doing that was causing it, but naturally you're just, what am I doing wrong? Why is this not working? And it's just a very sad and lonely place to be. And then I didn't want other people to know because it was embarrassing. So that makes you even more sad and lonely and isolated, and it was hard.
Yeah. That is a position I think women are in a lot.
It is.
Because we feel like we're supposed to be just doing all the things and knowing how to do them and doing them ourselves. And that's why I say, asking for help is a powerful strength, but we don't want to ask, but we're also willing to help anyone who asks. So it's this weird split,
Yeah, and it's a little different now than it was back then. People are a little more open about talking about it, which is great. Even if you don't want everybody to know, find like a friend or somebody, because it's really hard to go through something like that alone. And then even with my pregnancy, I had some complications from the hormone injections. So I was on bed rest for a month, overnight. My ovaries grew 10 times their normal size.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how I found out I was pregnant. I woke up one day and I'm like, I'm kind of puffy. And I got up like, I'm really puffy. And that's how I found out I was pregnant. So I was on bed rest for a week. And then my 7th month I spent on bed rest in the hospital because they thought there were complications. That was not enjoyable either. Everybody's like, oh, read a book. You can do that. That was fun for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And then again, a very dark, lonely time. I was for an hour away from my husband. He was trying to work and come up, but he couldn't do it every night. Yeah. And you're just laying there worried about your baby, and it was not. And then, then when my son was born, at that 7th month, they're preparing us for, your son will be born at 28 weeks. He's going to weigh 2 pounds. Here's the NICU where you're probably going to be. And so you're just, pregnancy hormones, all the emotions were there. It was very, very scary. But we made it through that month, and they thought, okay, everything looks good, and sent me home. And then when I went to have him, there was some complications, and I almost died after childbirth. Yeah. So that, he is a miracle that he's here, and that I'm here to be his mom. Yeah. And the doctors told us, don't have any more because of scar tissue and different things. This could happen again. So we're like, all right, one and done. We're good. And then a few years later, I kind of got okay, so actually we watched the movie The Blind Side. We went on a date night because some very wise people who were like mentors to us in our marriage said, go on a date night once a month, and you need to go on at least a weekend away without your kids once a year, because someday the kids are gone, and you have to know how to be a husband and wife again. And very, very valuable helpful information. So we had gone to The Blind Side, and on the way home, I looked at my husband like, we should do that. And he's like, what? I'm like, adopt a baby. Took him a while to get there because I just kind of sprung it on him.
We tend to do that.
Yeah. And he was like, but how are we going to do this? What's it going to look like? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like we should adopt a baby. We have a lot of love to give. I always wanted to. So then our youngest son, who is 14 now, we adopted him. And that journey was actually harder than having our oldest son.
Which is hard to believe, having heard the first story.
Yeah.
But yes, we should hear that story too.
We looked into foster, adopt, and all different avenues you can take, because there's a lot of them. And given who we were as people and what we thought we could manage and do, we decided to go with a domestic infant adoption, so a baby in the United States. We interviewed all these agencies, and we didn't know how this process actually worked. We gave them all this information. They created these web pages for us, and then all these birth moms look at you on the internet, they pick you. That's how. So for we wanted this to happen so bad, and it was totally out of our control. It was 9 months. Every month we would wait. Did we get picked? Did we get picked? And finally we got the call that somebody had picked us. And we had about...
So it can be anywhere in the U.S.? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We used an adoption agency actually out of California.
Okay.
And our son was born in Texas. So this mom picked us. We got a call one Friday. I remember us walking out of work to go get our oldest son from daycare. Someone calls, the baby's going to be born in 2 days. You need to get here. And we had just had an biggest snowstorm ever, 18 inches of snow in Iowa. They don't get that much snow. So we kind of threw stuff in the car and took off. And then during the time that he was in the hospital with her, like we got there, it was very awkward because we'd only talked on the phone, we hadn't met. And then
How far along was she when they picked you?
About 7 months.
Oh, okay, so this is a very quick turnaround.
It was a very quick turnaround. And she kept changing her mind, which was her right to do so.
Of course.
But I had held him and I had fed him, and it was really, really hard. And the day that we left the hospital with him, we got to the lobby and the agency called and like, don't go up there. They didn't know if she was going to go through with it. And ultimately she did. And when we finally left the hospital, we looked at each other and just like, she gave us her baby. But it was just like the waiting and the back and forth, because it was her right, it was her baby to keep if she wanted, but her family was supporting her in her decision because it was the best decision at the time. It was one truly done out of love. I will forever be grateful for the love she has for our son, that she picked us as his forever family, because it takes a very brave woman to do that.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, but she knew that she couldn't give him the life that she wanted him to have. We were in Texas then for 2 weeks with him because this paperwork.
Just out of curiosity, so you have him, so you just leave with the baby, and then you stay in like a hotel or something for a couple weeks? Or?
Well, it turns out the Super Bowl was in town that weekend, and we could...
Is this a real story?
Yes, this is so real.
18 inches of snow, the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
okay.
Have you ever been in Oklahoma when they have snow?
No.
The snowplows were in the ditch because they don't know how to move snow.
No. I didn't even know they had those.
Yeah, it was funny. So it was an adventure to get there, but then Super Bowl was there. Hotels were like $800 a night, and we knew we would have to have 2 to 3 weeks there. Somebody at our church had a friend who happened to live there and let us stay at his house because he had a spare room.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So we didn't have to pay him, but we did.
Yeah.
We stayed with him. He put a spare bedroom, like made a little place for us to be able to stay there, and basically let us live in his house.
With a brand new baby.
With a brand new baby. Yeah.
Well, that was very generous.
Yeah. And it was, so it was kind of fun to go. We went out to eat, and so there was I holding this very, very newborn baby, and people would look at me and they'd look at the baby, they're like, what? And we wouldn't tell. We would just kind of be like, yeah, thank you.
That's so funny.
So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it was also hard because we're in a stranger's house with this new baby, and the other thing people don't think about with adoption is we kind of felt like we were babysitting. Like when you carry a baby, you're already with that baby. And like we loved him, but it wasn't the same as...
And you had a baby, so you know what that feels like.
And we were just kind of babysitting. So it took a while before the bonding could actually happen.
Yeah.
So like I knew what it was like to be the husband and not be the pregnant one, because it, like for a mother who's carried her baby, it just happens.
That's part of you.
It is. When you're the husband, it's different. And so I kind of experienced that.
Yeah, because there's a little bit, it's separate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still your baby, but yeah, you didn't go through all that, as, just being part of your body.
Yeah.
Before the baby comes.
My work, I fought really hard to get maternity leave because I'm like, I still have this baby.
Oh, right.
And I didn't win. So
is that different now? That's got to be.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, you don't need to recover. I'm like, I'm not sleeping because I have a baby and I wanted to bond with my baby. I ended up working from home as much as I could and having to use all my vacation time and then just take the rest not paid because I I wanted 6 weeks after we got home to
Sure.
actually be home,
Mm-hmm.
which still wasn't long enough, but that was all we could do at the time.
So when you left, so the 2 weeks was for?
The state of Texas and the state of Iowa had to, like, we had to get permission from the state to leave with him, and we had to get permission to enter into Iowa with him, because like it was 6 months after that is a final adoption hearing.
Okay, so she could change her mind.
She couldn't, but the father could, because she relinquished all of her rights.
Oh, got it.
Before
Okay.
every state has different laws, but she had relinquished her rights, but the father would not cooperate. So he had a certain amount of time to file a petition.
Okay. And then that was
fine.
That.
He was not in a position to do much.
Okay.
So we knew that it was going to be finalized, but
it had to be official, and you
Yes.
needed to get to that point.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so now you're at home, and how does that feel with 2 kids now? Because your older son was...
He was 4 at the time.
Okay, he was 4, yeah.
About 4 years old, and I didn't want to go back after maternity leave at all. But I had a really great job, and I liked my job, but I liked being a mom more. And it was finally, I think the final straw, like I kind of was hinting at my husband, I don't want to work. And he was like, but we need your money.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to only have one income. And the final straw was when I was not allowed to use my lunch hour to fluctuate the time to pick my son up from preschool or pre-K. And that was really important to me, which sounds silly, but when they're 3 or 4 years old, they forget by the time you get off work what they had done.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hear what he had done at school that day. I mean, I didn't, even if they just colored the letter A, I just wanted to hear about it. So we call it jumped off a cliff. I quit my job, and I was the one that made more money in our house. So that's why we jumped off a cliff. And there's me, I'm like, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
You're the accountant.
I was the
should trust
accountant, but
you.
he's the one running the numbers. He's like, it's not gonna work. I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll work. I did some in-home daycare to make ends, which was also hard on my kids, but they adjusted. And then I started my own catering business.
Oh.
And freezer meals, and instead of the daycare, because I love to cook and be in the kitchen. It got us through a season. It was a lot of work because I had little kids in tow.
Yeah.
But I did it. It worked. I even look back, like at pictures of me, of the boys in the grocery store and the great big obnoxious carts or pushing the little carts. But you just do it because you have to.
You figure it out.
You do. You just figure it out. And then they grow up, and you figure that out too.
So you stayed at home, and then how long were you? Did you go back to work?
No.
You stayed at home the whole time.
I've stayed at home.
Nice. Yeah.
When we moved up here, part of the goal was that I would not have to work.
Okay. Yeah.
Because for our home, some families can have both parents working, and it's great, and they make it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to be home and be mom. So part of moving up here was we wanted to put ourselves in a position that if I worked, it was because I wanted to and not because I had to. And thankfully, we've been able to make that work.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, people do that all kinds of ways. You know, both parents work, that works for them. One parent does, the husband, the wife, or people do it as a single parent and figure it out. So I think, you know, to your point, it's important to figure out what works for you. And it seems like you did that.
Yeah, we try. I mean, it's not perfect, but like people who both work, I understand why you do grocery pickup, why you have people clean your house. Like you can't do it all.
Why we have you do freezer meals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was I do freezer. I did sold freezer meals. Like there's some people can do that, but I wanted to be a mom, and people say I too say I'm just a mom, but I think there's a lot of value for people who want to just be the mom.
Yeah, but you also did like in-home daycare. I mean, it's never. You want to just be a mom, but you still have a million things you have to do that aren't just being a mom. So
you do.
Yeah.
And by me not working, my husband is able to focus more on his work. Like that's just like I said, our roles.
Yeah.
I take care of all of the things, and then he can work and then not have to worry about it, which helps him do a better job with his career.
And then to have an understanding and communication about how that's going to go too makes that much easier to be in those roles, you know?
Yeah.
I think if you can define that in a relationship, it's helpful because, you know, people don't feel slighted then or, you know, like you're doing more of the work or, you know.
Yeah.
It's just communication is so important in a situation like that.
It is, and it's just unspoken. Like, I do all these things, but there's been times I'm like, I need you to help. Can you help me do this? Or sometimes after, he'll be like, what do you need from me tonight? He'll say after we eat dinner, and so he'll help when he's able to. If I also have to ask. Sometimes I just do, and I don't ask, and then I
get grumpy.
And then we get grumpy because we're doing it all ourselves, but I didn't ask. So he doesn't read my mind. I don't read his mind. You just have to use your words. Yeah. Like you tell your kids, use your words.
Yeah.
And I did do some substitute teaching for a while because our kids are older, and I was like, I mean, they're 14 and 18 now, and I thought, they don't need me. But then it just put extra strain on the house because I wasn't able to do all of the things. And even when they're 14 and 18, they still need you. It just looks different.
It definitely looks different.
And I wasn't able to be fully present in every capacity. And that's me as a person. Some people can do it and do it great.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. I'm not even going to.
Well, it's important to know yourself too. You know, if you want to maximize who you are, it's important to know who you are. So. Yeah.
And I also, I think I shared with you also, 5 years ago, had a water skiing accident turn into a stroke.
Yes, and we should talk about that.
Yeah, and I know my limits because of that, but I'm very thankful.
Yeah, because that wasn't, I mean, people don't think of a stroke coming on from something like that, you know, until you hear a story like that. You know?
It was a total fluke thing. We were on vacation, and this was during COVID. It was 2020, and we had tried like 4 different things to do for our vacation that year. Finally found somebody. We rented a cabin on a lake. I was excited. I was water skiing for the first time in decades. And my last run, my kids are on the boat going, "Jump the wake, Mom, jump the wake." And so I did, and when I did, I hit the water because I did exactly what I had taught my kids not to do. Don't lean forward. And I did, and my head snapped back. And I remember,
oh my God.
I remember my ears were ringing. I was seeing stars. I was disoriented. I climbed in the boat. I had a horrible headache. And for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I was getting like massages. I thought I had whiplash. And was going to the chiropractor. And about the 3rd visit to my chiropractor, I found out he saved my life. And I won't say his name, but he did save my life. I even actually went back and thanked him for saving my life after, because he felt really, really bad. But he went to adjust my neck, and I had a stroke right there because I had torn an artery in my neck, and a blood clot had formed at the base of my skull. And when he adjusted my neck, the blood clot dislodged and shot straight to my brain.
Oh my gosh.
But he knew. Yeah. Who does this stuff happen to? I mean, really. So we kind of like to joke I'm on my 3rd life.
Yeah.
Between the child.
I mean, we've only heard parts of it, but it
between
seems that way.
childbirth and the stroke, I'm on my 3rd life. I couldn't talk, and he knew right away I was having a stroke, and I went unconscious, and I remember him saying, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I couldn't talk, and I woke up for about 30 seconds in the ambulance, and they were cutting my clothes off me and putting me on breathing things, I don't know. And I remember thinking, call my husband. He's working 3 minutes away.
Yeah. But you couldn't tell him.
I couldn't say it, which was, I couldn't use my words. It was so strange. And then I woke up about 6 or 7 hours later in ICU on a ventilator after brain surgery.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And my kids couldn't come see. So my family like jumped in their cars, came up from Iowa, but it was COVID. And during that time,
you couldn't go
in the hospital. So my kids, actually, thankfully, my kids never really saw me there. They couldn't come visit me. They FaceTimed me, but it was after I had gotten off the ventilator, and I actually didn't look like death.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And they didn't really understand what was going on. Other than when I came home, I was really weak, and I had to sit on my husband had to carry me to bed, and I just laid, I couldn't lift anything. I had to let the artery heal, and I had all the stroke recovery.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was, but they didn't understand.
Yeah, that's hard to explain to kids.
Yeah. But thankfully, they acted really fast. The doctors, they all saved my life, and I didn't have to learn how to walk or talk or anything again. Man,
that's wild.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. It worked.
Yeah, but and like my oldest son, even he told me last year, he's doing an interview for school or something, and he's like, you know, you changed after your stroke. You're more fun now. And it was kind of a wake-up call, like,
yes,
all these things that I thought were so important, not so important anymore. And I guess I just live my life a lot differently now than I did. It's too bad it took that to get to me. And even now, the part of my brain is actually dead. It's the part that affects my vision. My brain has rewired itself, so
amazing.
I
first
can see
of all, yeah.
Your brain. I've learned so much about your brain. Because for the longest time, I couldn't see. Everything was blurry, and then after a few weeks, I could kind of see things. But when I got tired, my eyes would go black.
Okay.
And so to this day, if I try to protect my sleep, if I don't get enough sleep, my family will laugh because I'll be like, and it's not because I'm getting old, it's because my vision is blurry because I'm tired. And then if I get really tired, my left eye will just go black. So I try to protect my sleep. As a mom, it doesn't always happen.
No.
And sometimes I say, I don't care because I want to go to the concert, or I want to go to this overture center or the basketball game. But my family's like, well, mom's going to be worthless for 3 days. Like, they just know that it's going to take me 3 days to recover. So I know my own limits.
Yeah, and then you're coming back from running. I mean, coming back to running too, which, is that okay? I mean, you can run and...
I can. I actually ran a half marathon a year after my stroke because I wanted to prove that I could do it. Probably because that's the kind of person I am.
Yes.
Probably not wise. I remember the vision was not great, but I did it, and I was so proud of myself, and then I got addicted to doing it. And but yeah, I did it just to prove that I could do it.
Yeah, and you're good doing that.
I'm good doing it now.
Okay.
And actually,
that's great.
most of the time I'm like 95% of what I was before my stroke. I just have to get enough sleep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And now my new mantra in life is, let's go do this. Like, let's go. I don't need all the things. I just want to go do stuff.
Do you feel like before that happened, you know, you mentioned that, you know, you're more fun now and stuff. Before that happened, do you feel like maybe I don't want to do like a leading question, but like what would be like maybe a couple of the differences that you don't do anymore because of that, if you're willing to share?
I don't put my value as a mom in how my kids, like, if they succeed. Does that make sense? Like, I let them make their mistakes. Of course, they're older now. When they were younger, they needed a lot more guidance. But with our older son, his senior year of high school, he had earned our trust. And I stopped helicoptering over, your grades aren't good enough, or you need to do better in this activity, or you need to do this, and just kind of let them have a little more independence and freedom. And they failed, but that wasn't a reflection of me as a mom. That was them failing to do something. And I think through that failure, they learn a lot then too. And they wouldn't have learned it if I had just done it for them.
Right.
So I think that's part of why my son was like, you've changed. Yeah. Because I was
they probably do feel that. You know?
But he recently thanked me for the way we did that. Because he's like, Mom, he's in college now. He's like, his roommate maybe leans on his parents a little more for simple things that my son's like, he should be able to handle this, Mom. So I feel like he inadvertently said, thanks for equipping me for being an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I don't care about things. And I also care even less about what people think. So if they want to judge me based on how my kids act when I'm not around them, so like, okay, fine, I don't care.
It's so much energy to always care about that, you know.
It is.
It's like if you are a person who just has some direction and you know like what you want out of life, or at least have an aim, and you parent your kids within those boundaries of what you want. And if you're constantly concerned about what everybody else thinks about that, you're either always changing to try to satisfy people. You can never satisfy everyone, and it takes so much energy and time. Like, it's just not, that's not a good place to be putting those things. So, but we all do it to an extent.
We do.
And to be able to learn that and then live that must be kind of liberating.
It really is. And then it frees up your energy and your mind to like really focus on other ways that you can be a good mom. Because I'm not running around and like our kids aren't in a lot of things. Like, I grew up in all of the things. My kids aren't, and they're okay with that. So I'm like, if you don't want to do it, okay, fine. But you have to do something.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do everything. And we kind of like, and this is something we learned through COVID, we like not being busy all the time. So we've purposefully made our lives not busy.
Yeah.
Which is hard because
I feel like that's very different too.
Yeah.
Because,
it kind of is like a badge of honor. I'm so busy. My kids are running around. We don't have time to do all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys want to play Uno tonight? Like, we found that we like to be not busy. I mean, it's fun to go do things because I'm the first to be like, let's go do this, but
not every minute.
Yeah. There's a balance there. And like last weekend, we went hiking up 2 hours away for a day trip because we didn't have anything else we had to do. It's a nice fall day. Let's go hiking.
Yeah, there could be more of that in the world, like just intentional slowing down.
Yeah.
But like you said, that is hard to do, especially in the society we live in and just the way the world is spinning so quickly, and opportunities come up and you want to seize and make sure you're, experiencing all the things, and that your kids have all these outlets, opportunities, activities, can try things and figure out who they are, and then you manage that, and then you're still the mom, and then you're also maybe a wife, and it is a lot. And so many of us are existing in this, like, just like a hyper existence, always so busy. So it doesn't have to be to, the level that you're at where, you kind of have come to this peace with just not being busy all the time. But I think it would be beneficial if moms and women could find some time to just, me included, because I am busy. I do intentionally be more still now compared to, well, for sure a handful of years ago when COVID just started. I mean, I was always busy, and I loved spending time with my kids too, but like we were doing stuff, So I would say I have much more stillness now than I did, but could probably introduce much more of that to myself and my kids.
And it's easy now. My kids are older now, and I know, when your kids are older, you can be really busy because they do get into their activities.
For sure.
But and it's hard when they're young. You just do what you need to do to get through.
Yeah. You'll be busy even if you're not choosing it.
It is. But it's a different kind of busy. Like, that's not always a chosen busy. You just, kids are busy.
It's kind of maintenance.
It
and
is.
Let's keep everybody going.
But like our younger son, our older son was never into music. I know music is a great thing for kids. But why would I put him in music just because it's good for kids when he hates music?
Yeah.
And our younger son we put him in soccer one year. He hated soccer. He's never played with balls his entire life. He'd rather do other things. So we asked him, do you want to try this? And when he said no, we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And he's found very good at the piano. He loves the piano. So like, I don't feel the need to make my kids do all the things. When they were younger and we were trying to introduce them, like, do you want to try this? Do you want to try this? And when they didn't, we were like, okay. Like, you don't have to, not every kid has to play t-ball. And not every kid has to play soccer, and not every, they don't have to do it all. Try it, yes. Do it, no.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference. But I think there's a lot of pressure to, like, do all these things and go all these things. And my kids wanted to play Play-Doh, so I was like, okay, let's just, like, I wish I would have at the time been like, okay, let's stay home and play with Play-Doh. And even, like, now that they're older and they've both found their ways, it's hard. I'm like, your friends are doing this. Don't you want to do this? But they don't. And I have to be okay with that as a mom.
Yeah. Because that's different than how you were at their age too,
It
because
is.
you were in a different scenario and you had opportunity and just seized it. Everybody was doing that. You know, that was just your existence. So yeah. That's a good point, because I do, for my kids too, heavily, and they will tell you this, encouraged many things. And even when they didn't want to participate in it anymore. And so now that they're older, you know, we've had conversations about that. And even as you brought up music, you know, I was very adamant that they should learn an instrument, because in this community, like, there's such an opportunity for kids to learn an instrument. And so I encouraged that, and then I kept encouraging that. And now with my youngest, he's like, no. And I'm like, all right. But it was as they got older. So my oldest graduated high school having done an instrument since 5th grade. Then my next was like, okay, you can be done at sophomore. You learned a lot. And then the next is like, she's like,
They wore you
I'm
down.
not doing it. Like, all right, well, you know how to read music a little bit. And then finally it's like, Mom, no. And then I'm like, all right, listen, I am not going to police that. You know, I'm not going to manage that. If you don't want to do it and you have other things you're interested in. But we learn as parents as we go, you know. And I mean, I had a number of kids to sort of learn through. So I'm not the same mom now. None of us are, you know, when you have more kids and then you have more life experience, you're not the same person. And so I might have done that differently with my oldest now that I know some things, but she's fine, everyone. She's great.
They don't get scarred for life.
No. I mean, she
most
knows
of the time.
she played an instrument. It's like, she's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So, yeah.
And like, our older son is very, very outgoing. And he was very into golf. Learned so many lessons. And we'd go to all these golf meets, and we were walking across courses all summer long. And I was like, well, how about him? And our younger son, he would throw himself on the ground and refuse to move. And like, oh, he'll come around. He's going to play golf. No, he doesn't play golf. He has zero interest in golf. And we would just be like, come on, get up. Or no joke, he would be like, can I have your phone? We're like, why? I need to call 911. This is child abuse. I'm like,
because
a golf course?
Go.
Because he had to go watch his brother golf. I'm like, oh, brother.
Although that is a very interactive sport as a spectator, you know, more so than other things where you can just sit and watch. But I'm not siding with him. I'm just saying I see his point.
Yeah, well, I mean, in his defense, I was like, stop talking and keep walking for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's not very fun as a kid. I'm like, go look for golf balls.
And you
in the
don't
weeds.
understand why, and we ask a lot sometimes.
But everybody would be like, oh, he'll get into it. I'm like, I don't think he's going to. Like, we knew he wasn't going to, so why would we force him?
Yeah, he'll find his thing.
Yeah. I didn't golf either until you were talking about, like, your kids, our kids are older. We have like 14, 18. I have more time. And I was like, what am I going to do with myself? Because they need you in a different way now.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest part of motherhood too. You kind of have to just go with each stage. Each age is different. Middle school, we won't.
No, we talk about that all the time on the show. It's like middle school. It's rough.
It's hard. And like we like to say, well, they become human again. We're seeing glimpses of, our older one came around, the younger ones, we're seeing glimpses that he's human again.
And us too during that time.
It's so hard.
Yeah,
I
parenting
remember you like, go
time.
brush your teeth, and all of a sudden you're like the worst mom in the world. I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, it wasn't you.
Yeah. Get through the middle school years. That's all you get through. You don't thrive in any way.
Yeah, that's a milestone as a parent and as a child, but as a parent for sure.
Yeah, but not so. My oldest son, I've watched him golf for like 10 years, and somebody said, you should learn how to golf. You should join women's league, and he laughed so hard at the idea, and I was like, because this is the way.
So that was triggering.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, watch this. I signed up for women's league, and I hadn't golfed since he was like 3. But then that became my hobby. I was like, I don't have to be home when my kids can stay home now.
Yeah.
So I was at the golf course by myself, like every day this summer. And I found a new hobby that for years I thought it was the dumbest sport, but I grew to love watching my son, and now I love playing.
Yeah.
So we just find the hobby, something new that you can do.
Well, and you get to evolve. you know, as a person.
Yeah.
And we can't forget that.
So
We need to do that.
I joked with my husband earlier this fall because him and my older son love football, college football. I don't like football. My school was so small, we didn't have football. I didn't grow up watching football.
You didn't have to play it.
I don't understand it. I'm like, why are they trying to run through those great big guys in a line? Why are they not running around them? Like, they're not going anywhere. But I went to like football games 3 weekends in a row. I'm like, I make tea times on the golf course and go by myself. I go to football games. I don't even know who I am anymore.
You're a new person.
But it's like a new freedom when your kids get older, and we know that we've done our best to make them I mean, when they're home alone, they don't do things the way I would, but they can survive without us there to tell them what to do. I was like, this is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's like a new level unlocked, and you can't see it when your kids are young. You can't even believe that that day is you're not even maybe wishing for that day, but you can't believe that that day is in the future because it's so like labor intensive just to be around your kids and take care of them and get them what they need when they're little. It's hard to picture them as, you know, being able to be self-sufficient and things like that. And then it's just this beautiful sort of evolution of them becoming these older people who you can interact with in a different way. And then they make sense a lot, and you can have conversations that aren't just sort of surface level. And yeah, it's great.
It is great.
Yeah.
But you're still mom and dad, and they still come back to you when they need help.
That's never done.
No, we're doing that with our college son right now, going through some really hard times. So he's come back, and we told him when he left that we're always here to help you if you need us, but we're really proud of you for going out and tackling the world, like go achieve those goals. And now he's seeing, yep, mom and dad are here for me when I need you, but it's also hard to let go and be like, why is he not calling me every single day when he was at college?
I'm the same.
And I'm like, wait, this is perfectly healthy, but is he gonna forget me? Is he gonna think it's just a battle?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, then our 14-year-old, and I mean, he's still coming out of the middle school year, so we're still, but we're
it takes a minute.
It does, but like even now that I know, I'm like, okay, I can't hover, which I learned during COVID. I got tired of hovering over them for virtual school.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fighting, a lot of tears. And so when the school year started, I looked at him, I said, nothing below a B. You've got a lot riding on high school now. Like, if you want to go to college, you're gonna need good grades so you can get into the college that you want. If you're not going to go to college, you may need to learn these things for the skill or the trade that you're going to do. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a hard time as an adult. And then I left it. I checked his grades. I left his grade, checked his grades once, and this is probably not the best mothering aspect, but I just, at some point, they have to take responsibility for it. And if he fails, it's not my fault.
No.
Like, you've got to prepare them to be adults.
Yeah. And I think, you know, you can do that, and you can still be a support, and you can still be a resource, and you can still be a parent, and you don't have to participate in their minutia because that's for them to figure out. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I did check his grades, and there's nothing below a B. And he's very capable of that. Like, if he was not capable, he's very capable, oops, my microphone. He's very capable of straight A's, but I'm also not putting those expectations on my kids. So we thought nothing below a B, and there was some areas for improvement. And when I went to him, he's like, well, I've turned that in, it's not graded. And so I'm like, I'm gonna give you a week, and then I'm gonna check again, because I understand teachers sometimes take a while to get
fluctuation
in there, but he also has to be truthful with me, and I want him to know I'm checking. So I'm like, I'm gonna check within a week, and if it's not, I'm gonna email your teacher, and it was fine.
Yeah.
So I feel like, okay, so this is good. We're getting there.
Yeah. Well, it's a learning process, and even different with different kids, and yeah, it just never ends. Like you said.
Our oldest and our boys are totally different people, and so you have to parent them totally different.
Absolutely. I think you can have the same underlying aim as a parent, but the way that plays out in your interactions is different with each kid, for sure.
Yeah, and like our oldest, we never really had to punish him. We could just say, we're very disappointed in your choices. And like, that was a blow. That was enough. Our youngest, Not kidding, 2 years old, he would sit at breakfast, he'd look at me, "I'd be naughty today, Mommy." And he wasn't kidding.
That was very gracious of him to let you know.
It was very much a warning that it was going to be a long day.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just, like our oldest is very much black and white boundaries. He pushes the line. He's like, okay, where's the line?
Sure.
He gets caught. Okay, can't cross this. Our youngest is like, ha, lines.
No lines.
Watch this. And his like circular. But he also, I wish I had seen it sooner, sees the world in such a unique and creative way because of the way his brain is wired. He's never used toys the way, like we'd buy him something and he would use it for something else. And he sees things in a very different way, which is a very good trait to have. And like he's a thinker, and someday he'll do something great. It's just going to look a lot different than what our older son does.
And that's the beautiful part of parenting too, is that it shows you how things can be seen in a different way. Because if he wasn't showing you that, you wouldn't know to have that perspective.
No, so. And like looking back, of course, now that he's 14, I'm like, oh, I missed this. Yeah. But you can't do that to yourself as a mom or in anything in life. You can't have hindsight and be like, I wish I had done this.
Yeah, you will beat yourself up forever.
No, you just, you do the best you can, roll with it.
Yeah, I agree.
You get some stages you get through, some are so great, and in the end, it's all good, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, this was good. I'm so glad you could come and share your story. There were a lot of lessons, I think, and incredible resilience and ability to bounce back after so many, trials and difficult times in your life. And I appreciate you sharing those. They're not always easy to share, but hopefully viewers will pull from that strength that you've shown us. And I really appreciate it. Do you have anything else you would want to share with moms or parents or anyone?
No, just don't be afraid to reach out for help, and don't hide your struggles, because every mom has them and every mom needs help.
That's great. Very important. I appreciate that.
But we feel weak when we do.
Yes.
And it's not weak.
No, it's not weak to not know.
It's hard to be a mom.
It is. I think that's the consensus, is it's difficult to be a mom. And so hopefully through these stories, of women who are brave and come on and share their experiences, then other moms out there don't feel alone, or like they have to know everything. So
and
I
that everybody's
appreciate it.
Different. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to keep your perspective, but don't be afraid to step into somebody else's like we did with Stephanie today. Be resilient. There were many examples of resilience in today's show, and you all are demonstrating that in your own lives too, because you're here and watching this. Continue to have goals and show up for those. Having a goal gives you something to aim for and something to get up for and something to pursue. And when you feel alone, remember there are 2 billion of us out here, and we are here for you. Thank you.